Kianoush Rostami, Sohrab Moradi, two Olympic champions, two Iranians, both with pretty tough last few years in the sport, both making a comeback, both returning to the World Championships in a few weeks. Let's have a quick update on how that's going. So for those of you who are new around here, here's Kianoush Rostami's career in 60 seconds. Kianoush Rostami began competing internationally in 2008, bombing out the Asian Championships as a 69 kilo weightlifter. He then moved up to the 85 kilo category where he began doing really well, winning the 2011 and 2014 World Championships. In early 2016, he set a world record in the clean and jerk at 220 kilos at the Fajr Cup, and then later that year he became the Olympic champion in the 85 kilo weight category. And then things went wrong. As the overwhelming favourite at the 2017 World Championships, he ended up bombing out the clean and jerk. In 2018, he bombed again at the Asian Games. Then he moved up to the 96 kilo category, and at the 2019 World Championships, he bombed out at 180 kilos, famously yelling at the jury on stage. And here's my iPhone footage from the media area where I was filming this happen. And so all of that basically meant that qualifying for the Olympics was becoming more and more difficult. He was forced to take gutsier and gutsier attempts, which really just tested his pride more and more. He was clocking world records while Tian Tao was laughing in the back room in Switzerland. He bombed out again at the 2020 Fajr Cup. He did overwin the 2020 Asian Games in 2021 at 89 kilos with just a 2 for 6 performance. He missed the Tokyo Olympics, and here we are. So let's take a look at some of his lifting recently, because he does actually look to be in pretty good shape in my opinion. Now, a few of these videos we actually saw on the news show, but let's take a look at some of them anyway. There are also some new ones, better ones that we can see. Here is this 180 kilo, I think it was a 3+1 that he did. And I think he did this twice, so obviously he's not standing up those reps. For those of you who are new here, he's not missing. That's just how a lot of weightlifters do things. A little bit more rare in the clean, because the standing up of the clean is much more of a trainable, important quality in the lift than it is in, say, a snatch. But, you know, Kianoush being Kianoush, he doesn't do that. In fact, Kianoush does crazy stuff. Like, you know, I think it was a rumor at the 2016 Olympics, he went bar 70, 170. He took a 100 kilo jump in the back room. It just freaked everybody out. And we know he plays mind games. When he competed against Meza Hossona at the 2019 Qatar Cup, I put up that video. He's playing mind games with Meza the whole time, taking lifts at the exact same time. Here's the jerk on the second set there for the 3+1 at 180. So his best lift, by the way, in the clean jerk is 225 in this new 96 kilo category, just for reference. Then he hit a set of 5 in the front squat here at 190 kilos. Everything looks pretty easy. Obviously, he never actually catches a bounce anywhere near this nicely when he does lift in competition, but it's still good to see that he's standing this up relatively effortlessly. He did tell me once, I think I did a interview that I put up online where he told me this. He said that he snatched 190 kilos in training once, which maybe that happened. Maybe it did, I don't know. And now this is where I think things get a little bit more interesting. This is a 160 kilo double. So we've got a 25, a 20, a 15, a 5, a 2.5, and then the collars, which are obviously 2.5. So this is 160. If that black one there is actually a red, it's 170, but it's just not going to be 170, is it? Surely. So this is really exciting, though, to see Kianoush moving 160 kilos in the snatch so effortlessly. That first rep was very easy. Brings it back down and hits it for a nice double. Now, that second rep was tough, but that's not something that Kianoush is you know, unfamiliar with. You know, he catches things deep. So let's take a look again. This first rep here looks pretty chunky, meets the bar, finishes nice and tall. Then look, he's caught the bar. I mean, it is significantly below parallel, but for Kianoush, that's pretty nice. This rep is a little tougher. Look how far he jumps forward. It's classic for the Iranians. It's just, you know, it's a feature of their lifting at this point. And he doesn't lock out till right around there. Not got a lot of room to play with, but realistically, he's going to open around... I pray that he doesn't open too far above 170 and do what he does, which is, you know, bomb out. But, you know, I love Kianoush. I really hope he does really well, but I just hope he doesn't do anything too silly with his opener. So he did then actually compete at a recent national competition in Iran. The quality of the footage for this is shocking, but let's take a look at it anyway. Okay, so here it is. So at this competition, he went 174, which is really great snatch for Kianoush. Really nice snatch. He has out-snatched that at 85, but still, that's a really strong snatch for him. He then only ended up with 202 in the clean and jerk. Not quite sure why or how that happened. He did go for 212, cleaned it, missed the jerk for some reason. But the good news is it looked very easy. It looks like he could do significantly more. In fact, there's a clean and jerk that we'll watch after this, which, if it is new, suggests that he does have significantly more in the clean and jerk. Here's the 174. Apologies for the potato cam. We can watch that through a few times to try and pick up any missing frames that we didn't catch. There's only about 4 frames in there, but a pretty nice, easy 174 there. And then here we can see the 202. Again, this is over 20 kilos less than we've seen him do before, but the speed of the pull, the speed of the stand-up, and then that jerk, he's got that very classic, throws his chest forward, steps forward through the bar. But to be honest, if someone just showed me these two lifts and said he went up, I'd believe he went up a lot. So I think he's in pretty good shape right now. Seeing as Tian Tao's not going to be there, seeing as Miso Sono is presumably not going to be in the best shape, having taken a lot of time after becoming the Olympic champion, there might be, we might see him actually do. I'd like to see a medal. I'd certainly like to see a medal. He could even win. You sort of never know. We'll see what's going on with Sohrab next. Okay, so there is also this lift that a couple of different Iranian fan pages have posted. It's 220 kilos, and it's in a different place. This is at a national training hall. Whether that's because Kianoush has just gone there to start training, and he's just hit this, I don't know. Maybe it's an old video that they're all for some reason suddenly reposting in a weird conjoined effort. I don't know. Hopefully it's new, but let's take a look at it. Maybe treat it with a pinch of salt in case it is actually an old lift. But 220 looking pretty nice. I like that a lot. Great lockout. Everything was very convincing about that lift. My friends over at Manscaped sent me this, another package, a performance package. They told me to give it away to someone, so I'm going to bring in Dan Kent, my co-owner of Weightlifting House, and give him this bad boy. Please take a seat.
Hello.
Our friends over at Manscaped sent me this, and after all the teasing that you've now given me, I now get to return it to you. Would you like to open it on camera? Alright, what have we got?
Lawnmower 4.0, is it nowadays?
It is. It's fresh out the box.
Led to believe that these are very comfortable from what you've said.
They are. They're very nice. Going to be
base, all kinds of attachments.
In case you don't want to shave the whole way down.
Some ball toner, ball deodorant.
Ball deodorant. The wife will be happy about those two, I'm sure.
My balls will thank me.
They will. Anyway, feel free to take these off.
Thank you very much.
No problem at all. I hope to see you tomorrow in much better shape than you currently are. So that is House 20 for 20% off. They've already got a sale on for Black Friday at the moment. So if you want to cause excruciating pain in front of an audience, just like I did with Dan to some of your friends, then go use code House20 at manscaped.com for 20% off all of their stuff. That's in addition to the discount that they already have with Black Friday. Okay, back now to Sohrab Moradi. And Sohrab, I think, has a more interesting comeback story. He also looks to be in really great shape. For those of you who've been living under a rock or who are new to weightlifting, here's Sohrab Moradi in 60 seconds. So back in 2007, Sohrab began competing internationally. As a 77, he placed 32nd at the World Championships. In 2008, he'd medaled at the Asian Championships, and by 2009, he won a gold medal at the Asian Champs. He won gold again in 2012, but then he bombed in the London Olympics in 2012, and then received a 2-year ban in 2013 for methadone, which is actually more of a sort of pain management drug. It's not your typical performance enhancer. During this time, then, incredible videos emerged of a 200-kilo snatch in training. After returning in 2016, he became Olympic champion. In 2017 at the World Champs, he set world records and a gold medal in the total. 2018, more world records and a gold medal in the total. And then in the last ever competition, where there was the 94-kilo category, he finally beat Kaki Kakishvili's long-standing world record in the snatch, meaning that he owned all of the 94-kilo world records. And then things also went wrong. Though unlike Kianoush Rostami, it wasn't because he started bombing out. Sohrab had hurt his shoulder lifting really heavy weights, a 205-kilo snatch in training. And so he had multiple surgeries, multiple times he re-injured it in an effort to try and qualify for the Tokyo Olympics, but he wasn't able to do so. And so now we haven't seen him since the Asian Championships in April 2021. But he is kind of known as the best 94/96 kilo weightlifter since Ilya Ilyin. Okay, so now that I've brought you up to speed, let's take a look at his training. The first thing I will say is that he's looking thick. He's looking like there's a chance that he's just going to go in as a 102 honestly. I hope he comes down to 96 so we see a great battle, but potentially the Iranian Federation might separate him and Kianoush out so that they have a greater chance at double golds. So I did a video on him a few weeks ago. He was hitting some sort of 210 clean and jerks, a couple of 160 snatches. He's recently started showing us some of his heavier squats and then some powers also. 5 days ago we saw this 190 kilo clean and jerk. We've got 25, 25, 20, 10, and then I think there's a 2.5 and then 2.5 collars. We've got a nice 190 there. Let's watch that again. That's a little bit tougher in the power, but still very convincing. You can see a slight little wobble there in the shoulder. Not wobble, sorry, a slight bias almost away from loading it when he goes overhead, which is going to be his real struggle at this World Championships. He then posted this. I think this looks like it's at least 165. I'm assuming there's 2.5s, probably 170. It says there push press. It's kind of not, because he does dip under it a little bit and then continues to press out, but it's somewhere in between a push press and a push jerk. Okay, this is actually more Kianoush. I forgot to show this. This is looks like a 140 double, moving into triple. Yeah, triple. So if you thought that 190 power clean looked easy, this 180, which he does here for a double, a 2+1, looks significantly more easy. Here it is, pulls out much higher. These also no foot, which the Iranians do a fair amount of actually. I think because sometimes when they do their powers, otherwise they end up going out so wide. Salimi and Kianoush in particular are known for doing that. But then I think the things that are the most exciting are then his squats. Let's take a look at those because they really are quite impressive. Okay, so here's Sohrab's squat. It looks like we've got about 260 here, depending on what that black plate is, but I think it's a red. I think we've got red, 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 blue, green, yellow, 260 kilos for some very fast triples. We've seen him squat 320 in the past. Actually, as an 85, he did 320, which is remarkable. But this seems to be sort of pretty much peak speed and strength for him in the squat, just for the way he moved that. But then more impressively and more terrifyingly was this set of front squats. Now, what are we looking at here? Because I looked at this and I thought there's no way that can be 260. I just can't believe that he's going to move 260 in the front squat so easily. But that would only be because I'm assuming that that black plate right there in the middle that we can see right here is a blue. It could be a red. It's as thick as the reds. It's thicker than the reds. If it's a red, this is 260 in the front squat, which the way that he moves it is unbelievable. I can't believe he's ever been this strong in the squat if this is the way that he's moving 260. Or it's 250. Either way, it's unreal. The more I think about it, the more I think it has to be 260 and not 250 like I thought before, but it's just ridiculous. Look at the speed of this. Not just for one. Not just for two. But for three. I mean, who do we know who can do this sort of thing? Tian Tao obviously did a 280 single, but if Sohrab just did 260 for a triple like that, he can do 280 for a single, he can do 290 for a single. He might be able to get close to 300 for a single. Sohrab is looking incredibly strong. We haven't seen him compete in the same way that we've seen Rostami compete recently, but from what I can tell, both of them are in good shape. Both of them have had 7 months at this point to train since we last saw them at the Asian Championships. Both have a lot to prove. Both obviously want to go to Paris. Both feel like they could and should win at the Olympics. As we all know, Sohrab Moradi is the stronger, most dominant of the two in this heavier weight category. Will Miso Sono be able to compete with him? Will some of the other 96s out there in the Pan American area be able to compete with him? Will Anton Plesnoy be there? We just don't know. I'd love to see the return of Big Daddy Sohrab Moradi. I'd love to see Kianoush do well also. I think they're both tremendous weightlifters, but who knows? Hope you enjoyed this little update of those two prior to the World Championships. I will be there, I'll be filming. We'll have loads of good training content for you guys over the coming months once I finally get back to an actual competition. I'll catch you guys on the next one.